started last week's show with some good news. We have some good news this week as well, as Liv Morgan is reported her shoulder surgery went well. She's now on the road to recovery. Also, Chad Gable had surgery on his shoulder. Everything, according to reports, has gone well, and they are both on the road to recovery. This is a good thing. Get well soon, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Night is Overbooked, your midweek wrestling talk show with a bunch of idiots who just like to talk professional wrestling. I am your host, the king of the idiots, Joker Voice, and to my stage right is the growing, the maturing, the better takes of late. That is the one, the only LeftEyeEgo. Ego, how are you, sir?
Doing all right. Just suffering from having to watch a few matches in Night of Champions, which will be talked about later. But I'm otherwise doing okay.
All righty. And directly under him is our legal expert who's going incognito at the moment.
I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my freaking camera. Give me 1 second.
So we'll go right here.
No, it's fine. I'm good.
There he is. Oh my God! Look.
What?
He now has it.
What?
Wearing
What?
is his favorite luchador of all time, El Grande Americano.
Back just in time. All recovered. Even such a great recovery. He's taller.
All the way from the Gulf of
Oh my God.
Gulf of America. It is our legal expert, the Duke Devil, Bradley Burnett. How are you, sir?
Doing good, but trying to find my notes on the top 5 that I wrote.
Oh boy, here we go. And right below me, it is the Matt of 1,000 Holes, the Unbearable 753. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Another week, no hospitalization here in the Andes of America, called New Jersey.
All righty. Good. All right, so we're gonna say there's some folks watching here right now. If you have not yet, make sure to check down below in the description. All of our information is down there. Check out the socials. Be sure to super kick that like button. Tag us in when you share the stream, and you can join our factions when you subscribe to our channels. So if you don't mind,
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
thank you, Harley. So we're going to jump right into this, as over this weekend, we had a premium live event, actually 2 shows from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. Before we get to the PLE, which was Night of Champions, the show on Friday, SmackDown, ironically had more championship matches than Night of Champions did. The Street Profits retained their WWE Tag Team titles over the Wyatt Six due to a bunch of shenanigan outside interference resulting in a disqualification. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, I believe that feud has finally been put to bed after Tiffany won a last woman standing match. And we have a new Women's United States champion, the dismal reign of Zelina Vega, which coincidentally was 11 days longer than Jey Uso's reign as World Heavyweight Champion, but we won't talk about that, has come to an end. And the new champion, the beautiful Madness Julia. If WWE wants to elevate this belt and make this title significant and prominent, you put Julia on a Gunther type run. Let her just destroy everybody there. Do not. This is someone you need to just take the leash off of. Just my thoughts. Any thoughts on the SmackDown side of the championships at all?
Sure made it interesting enough. I mean, usually you just are like, okay, whatever, and get to the next one. But with the title changes that did happen, you're like, okay, it's interesting. And then you go into Night of Champions a little bit more with piqued interest. But that's about it. I'm just glad that they finally took the belt off Zelina Vega. That needed to happen. I'm just glad it's on Julia, and it can be something that's actually a sought-after title because it was languishing with it on her belt.
Okay. Anyone else thoughts?
Similar thoughts. Zelina Vega can now go back to a bottom
manager,
Carter, manager type, and not. I don't want to take anything away from her like ability in the ring per se. Like she's a decent like mid Carter, low Carter type. She doesn't have the physical size for a woman to be able to do
4'11". Yeah.
I suspect a bunch of the unused luchadors will be in AAA by the end of the year. Thus because they're not on TV anymore, apparently. And that's kind of what I think on that. Julia having the title. I really like when they go with any title, either a quick change or the champion keeps it for several months minimum. Like these, what they did to Jey Uso, even though I'm not a big fan of Lamb and Jey Uso, as we all know. What do you have? Like 3 weeks, whatever it was, a month.
51 days.
51 days. That wasn't a long enough time for him to have that title. It felt that was 2 months basically, if that. And
so what you're saying is you're not a fan of the hot potato championships.
Not for your top, your big belt. Like so WWE doesn't have any what's called the TV titles, which are what your mid card and bottom card change hands constantly on TV. You know what I mean? So WWE doesn't really have that, right? If you had a title like that, or the 24/7 title, or something like that, which is supposed to be your
do not bring back
your chance, your bottom.
WWE, just
bear with me, bro. Bear with me, okay? I'm not saying we should.
We're not advocating that title.
I'm not saying we should bring the 24/7 title, although I have an idea for it. I'm not saying that, okay? What I'm saying is WWE should introduce like their version of a TV title that every week on Raw and SmackDown it gets defended, and it's for the bottom and lower to have a chance to give themselves an organic push by the crowd seeing like the Zack Ryders of the world, so to speak.
Who?
Zack Ryder. What is his name?
Mac. Oh, wait, Mr. Chelsea Green.
Mr. Chelsea Green. Yeah.
The point is that you can have a little story on where it comes onto TV. They defend the TV title in the first hour. Maybe they go to a little TV run. The fans get to cheer them. Then say, "Oh, this guy's got a little push. We can push him up to the mid card, and then let him drop the lower your title to another guy. Maybe show him off on TV a little bit." That's what those titles are for. W doesn't have those titles, so you can't play hot potato with your top 4 titles. You just can't do it.
Okay, so hello, Mr. Eric Douglas. How are you, sir? So we're WWE TV title featuring Tozawa and Pinsuke Nakamura every week. So
isn't that just a speed title, really, if you think about it?
Well, you wouldn't have the same guys. You would. You used to be a chance for the bottom tier guys, mid tier, that sort of guys who have some physical talent, but because there's a lot of clot at the higher level, you can't put them on TV normally.
Question. I believe in these. I know JV doesn't, but wouldn't that just be a participation belt?
Mm-hmm.
They're all participation belts.
Oh no, dude!
Technically, that's true.
No,
technically, that's true.
Unless you still think pro wrestling is real, they're
still all real to me, man.
All right, so we talked about that. Let's go on to the Night of Champions. Now,
I will say I was disappointed that the greatest champions, whatever it was called, the Royal Rumble Elite belt that Cody has, was not defended tonight. I was upset.
So this was a show.
That's a statement.
It was a show. It happened. It wasn't terrible, but I didn't find it particularly great. I've watched it. I watched the show twice. I watch it once for just my sheer entertainment of it, and then I go back over to kind of nitpick and break stuff down. So let's go in order here. The show started off with the King of the Ring finals, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. This was easily the best match of the entire night, by far, in my opinion. The question was really never in doubt. It was never in doubt. Cody was always.
I don't know about being the best match of the night. There was some suspect moments in this match.
Well, I'll agree with Joker, and there's no shenanigans in this one.
So
No, there's not one-on-one.
What we had here, with both of them in their promos on the Go Home show leading up to this thing, both had said that there's nothing they would not do. Now, Randy had brought in a chair. It never really got used, but that's fine. He pulled off the turnbuckle pad, gave a little thumb to the eye thing, to which I'm like, okay, Randy's heelish ways are starting to come back. Has Cody set up for the punt kick, and he can't do it. This gives Cody a chance to whip Randy to take advantage of that exposed turnbuckle bolt. As Randy was selling his ribs and lower back for most of the match to take advantage and get the 1, 2, 3. So I thought this was the best match of the entire night. And I want to go with Brad first. Your thoughts?
Of all of it, I mean, just on this match or just overall?
This match.
Yeah, I thought this was probably, for me, the most enjoyable. Like I said, there were no shenanigans. They had, the personal aspect. Just so you know, I did not watch it entirely, like sit down and watch the night. I literally watched one match, then I had to take a break, watch another match. So I got through it real quick. But of them all, this I've actually felt like was an actual match. I think compared to everything else, that's what stands out most. And you got two guys who know what they're doing, and they brought a little bit of the the personal part in, which is good. Now, interestingly, I listened to the recap on WWE. I forget what it is. It's like it's with another group. It's like an hour-long recap.
Okay.
It's not fan-sided or something, or fan I don't know what it is. But they were constantly trying to sell this, like, we saw a real dark side to Cody, where that's a load of, you're trying to oversell this. He threw him into the turnbuckle without the pad there. That's not a dark side. It was there. He did what he needed to do to win. Puts a little different shade on Randy, and of course, now knowing what we know from spoilers, I'm not certain how to take the end result with Randy.
And Miss Sparkles, I thought John Cena retired. This is his retirement year at the end of December, which will be in TD Gardens in Boston. The night has not been decided yet, but that will be his final appearance as an in-ring talent. So, next, we had this match right here. As Brad called it, the Riyadh Dust Up, which is a fabulous name. Rhea Ripley, you know what, Brad, just for making that, for coming up with that. Absolutely wonderful. This, I thought, the match should have gone to Raquel. And as far as goes, this is the best Raquel has looked since she's come back since October when it appeared at Bad Blood. She gave a very good performance. Now, say that Roxanne Perez would come in and interfere, but to be quite honest, Roxanne was a non-factor. She did not factor anything. She got taken out of the ring. They put a trash can over her. Rhea does turning the wizard into the trash can. Roxanne's done. And we'll get into later why they put Rhea over, but they really dropped the ball, in my opinion, when it comes to the story of this, because the story should have been Raquel getting the win via help from Roxanne to put the giant Rhea Ripley over and to bring this newfound team together. And I bypassed Matt on the last one. I'm sorry, Matt. I want your thoughts on this match.
So, I kind of enjoyed it. It was probably, I would rate it my second favorite match of the event.
Okay.
I was impressed by Raquel's performance. I think it helped that Rhea is also a big girl, so to speak, so they can both do power moves on each other and sell for each other. So you had two of the women who could actually pull up a hardcore match in WWE. I don't know. I think Raquel won by performing so well, even if she didn't win the match per se. You know what I mean? Like, I think the fans will appreciate her, and maybe they can do a push with her now, because the fans saw her do well, like perform well, so to speak. I think this match should have been maybe the second to last match, and the card one should have been here. You know what I mean? Because this was more of a highlight match, and it would have bookended nicely with the Cena Punk match. You know what I mean, as far as energy levels.
Gotcha.
And so that's honestly one of my biggest complaints about this card is the match order.
Okay. Brad, your thoughts on the Riyadh dust-up?
I pretty much agree with both what you guys said. At least Roxanne did not cause the loss. That would have destroyed the storyline we think they're going forward. One complaint I did have was, I understand why they're all fully clothed, but could you wear different colors?
Please.
Well, on that note,
look, I knew who Roxanne was because she's like yay tall, but you got Raquel and Rhea, who were basically the same size, wearing all black leather with dark hair. I mean, it was like this. It's like spy versus spy, except they're both the spies of both the black spies. Who do you
by the way?
And Miss Sparkles agrees with you. We need the more skin.
Yeah, but then they would not have left Riyadh alive.
True. Ego, your thoughts?
I actually watched this match. I actually got Shira to watch. She laughed her ass off when Roxanne Perez got kicked in the head with that trash can over. That was hilarious. It was. I do think that if Roxanne was the reason that the match fell apart, it would suck for the story. But I think they did get it wrong by making Rhea Ripley go over. I really thought that this would enhance the storyline. Like, it works on two fronts. The Judgment Day is actually a stronger core member. Raquel's loyalties are divided because now she's like, well, Roxanne Perez did help me. Rhea doesn't lose anything by losing the match. If anything, she gets her lick back at Evolution, and then it's on to the next opponent. Like, that's it. This is only supposed to serve as making the Judgment Day stronger, and I thought they dropped the ball on it.
Gotcha. So, next match. Another match where I thought they dropped the ball because they decided to give the post-match angle on Raw, but Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. Now, for those folks in the IWC who want to say that, Karrion Kross doesn't take back bumps, the man took 7 back bumps, flat back bumps. Dear God, and let's not pretend. Let us not pretend. Hello, Kai. Hello, sir. You wonderful wrench, you. Let us not pretend that Ric Flair basically made a career without taking a lot of back bumps. So I'm just going to say. Again, I thought that this match could have gone Karrion's way and makes sense to keep a feud going. But they went with the fan favorite. This is Sami. I thought it was the wrong choice. That's just me. I'll start with you.
Again, I'm all about extending the storyline if there is one, and there definitely was one. And for how much y'all showed Karrion Kross antagonizing Sami, for him to just lose it by, I think, Monday or Friday, I think, and then to have the match and it's immediately squashed. Like, it's, again, you squandered a story. Not everything has to be for the belt or whatever. Like, you have a good enough story to keep this going, and it gives Sami a worthy opponent. Like, even if Karrion Kross won by shenanigans, I'll take it because it advances the story, and I'm okay with that. But again, they keep squashing good stories, and I don't know to what end or for what purpose.
Okay. Now, Brad, as you said, Sammy could have gone over and have a vicious beatdown in Riyadh, but they decided to save that for Monday night, which for some reason, if something happens in the back, Sami Zayn has Wolverine-type healing powers because he takes a metal pipe to the ribs and is back for the main event in about an hour and a half later. So your thoughts on this match and the aftermath?
I think it was probably a PVC pipe that made to look painted metal.
Right,
So that's
of
why,
course.
Yeah, no. But what I'm getting, honestly, is progressively lower and lower as the matches progress. Even though this one didn't have any shenanigans, it just didn't end right for me. I thought this is like, and I know why Sammy went over, but I think Karrion Kross starting to get a little bit of momentum now through his social media and basically just acting.
Sales.
Yeah, they're missing. They're missing.
And then he also cut a backstage promo himself, where he talked about the most wanted, and doesn't that hurt Sammy that more people wanted me to win than you? Ooh, that must hurt like a steel pipe to the ribs. That's what being a good soldier gets you, huh, Sammy? Huh, Sammy? You're a liar. I thought it was a great promo. I think Karrion Kross is highly undervalued for his mic work. Matt, your thoughts?
This match was only on the card because of Sammy, right? So
basically,
I mean, otherwise, this was basically a Raw or SmackDown match.
This is yes,
true.
So
this is a very good TV match.
Yeah. So how many Jade versus Asuka Raw, two arguably three TV matches on a PLE. I mean, I don't know. It just felt like the only impactful like this. Okay, without talking about the other matches, I'll do this in the universe. This and several other matches do not feel like that a PLE is supposed to either settle a feud or have a big something go on or whatever.
Big angle, right?
And half of these matches didn't have that. And
I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, one of the only title matches here for an actual championship, the United States Championship, Jacob Fatu Yaramin versus his real-life cousin, Solo Sikoa. This went very much as we all thought. There's no way that Solo straight up is going to beat Jacob clean. This is going to have to be shenanigans. And shenanigans, we got JC DeMatteo running down that ramp. I was laughing my ass off. He looked so funny looking running down that ramp because he's got no shoulders and no neck. He's just all like this.
He has more, like Rhino has two back. He has three.
Yeah. So then we have the return of, and surprisingly, he did a neck breaker and didn't botch the move, Tangaloa. And the WWE debut of Tangaloa's adopted brother, who went by Hikuleo in New Japan Pro Wrestling, now going by the WWE name Talatanga. He is an adopted son of Haku. So
who was King Tonga in WWE.
Right. Another Tongan. We did get a title change. This was nothing. Ego and I called this one, and this can just be run back in a few weeks at SummerSlam. So give it a title run to reintroduce a new faction, a rebuilt faction. Whenever he is on, I just got
baby duty.
He had his sixth kid.
The whole next generation of the Anoa'i family
Yeah, it's the new bloodline in about 25,
Right.
30 years.
Literally, because
New tribe.
what was it? Jacob has 7 kids. Rikishi had 6 kids. So yeah, so they're making babies there. So which I'm sure another one of Rikishi's kids will become his favorite, and he'll complain about them not getting pushed. Who knows? So, Ego, your thoughts on the title change?
It was good. It was necessary. It's what I called. I'm glad that they did this. It also does show what it takes out to take up Jacob Fatu, which is 4 people essentially to take out one guy. I kind of like that they had to use the shenanigans to their advantage to say, hey, this is how tough he is. But I think that ultimately the right call was made of taking the belt off Fatu and putting on Solo Sikoa. So it's going to enhance the storyline, especially with the title change. So I want to see where this goes from here on out.
Okay, Brad, thoughts?
This is where I start to see the shenanigans just taking away for the match for me. I understand why it's done, but that's, and of course the last match, it was all shenanigans. You have 2 people who can actually wrestle, and I wish they had done it a little more.
We'll get into that, because at some point with so many shenanigans, you kind of start to just go. Matt, thoughts?
This is my favorite match of the night, for various reasons. The shenanigans make sense to me because this is not at the end of a feud. It's like a big sort of setup. Right. So who's Jacob going to get to help him or whatever, or is he going to try to be the Hangman Adam Page of WWE, where he forswears all help, and just goes his own way. But to see on that regard, you could see. I don't know why they don't let Solo actually wrestle more actively. It's like because when he was going with Jacob, you can see a better wrestler than he normally shows. You know what I mean? Right. Like 2 big athletic guys going around. Whereas before, when he was anything before this, he's like 5 moves of doom or whatever. But I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed this of all the matches on this show. I enjoyed this one the most.
Okay. Then we come to the Queen of the Ring. This was by far the shortest match, as we have their match times right here. This went just over 8 minutes long. By far the shortest match of the entire night. And in my opinion, this was the worst match of the entire night. I've made my piece on Jade Cargill. She has not improved since coming to the WWE. She is just not good at all. And that's how I feel every time that I see her wrestle. Hey, Mr. Jacob. I'm on the stream. Thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. But as I said last week, Jade, unfortunately, is in a better story involving the women's championship over on SmackDown with Naomi, and eventually the return of Bianca. Asuka has no story. She's just returned, so the better story needs to prevail. I'm going to save Ego for last because I think Ego's got a few things to say here. So, Matt, let's go with you first.
Asuka did the champion's work, putting her over.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. I have no Jade Cargill winning this makes me not care about the next match she's in. Like she always, it was a chore watching this match. Even though I thought, if it was on TV in the middle of the show, in the first hour of the show, it would have been an okay match. You know what I mean? For a short type of thing. But for a PLE match, and for, I guess they trapped themselves into the story with her and Naomi, thinking she'd be better. And Hopefully, it'll just be over another month or two, and that was that.
Possibly. Now, did anyone notice Asuka's in the makeup? And I'm like, whoever did her makeup is, I'm pretty sure is a fan of the insane clown pop. Because she looked like a total juggalette there. I'm just saying.
True.
Ego's laughing because he knows. Brad, your thoughts?
Obviously, this one deserves a red card for me. Thankfully short.
Wait. It deserves a what?
A red card. Just
red
kick
card?
it out.
Kick
it out.
Okay.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Thankfully, it was the shortest of all matches. The show I was watching for the recap, it was what's this dude's name? Sam.
Oh.
Sam Roberts and Megan Morant. That's what I was watching for the recap. And
such a glazer. Such a glazer.
Working so hard to sell Jade Cargill. They literally said she looks like a superhero, like an action figure come to life. I'm like, you're not making the point you think you're making, guys. I don't care how. And they said she's like Storm. I'm like, yes, we all know that she has a Storm fetish, but you're not helping make the point. The match was so bad. There's only so much Asuka can do. Literally, as I watched it again, I'm like, she even messed up the pin. How do you mess up? I'm like, oh God, as soon as she does this jaded thing, I'm like, she's going to hurt Asuka. She just got back. Don't put her out again. And then she messed up the pin. It wasn't a full pin.
Which thank God they didn't change camera angles, because you would have clearly seen Asuka's left shoulder off the mat.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ego, you wanted some time here. Brad, I hope you are recording. Mr. Ego, the floor is yours.
Dude, you can't. Look, if you're going to do this, you got to do it right. You got to go with some real liquor.
I know. It's summer and the wife's not feeling well, so I can't drink like I want to. This is just to signify what I had to go through watching that match, okay? Guys, they say facts don't care about your feelings, but feelings do matter. So I'm going to hit you up with some numbers, then I'm going to go scorched earth, okay? When you look at this match, which was the action figure known as Jade Cargill versus Asuka. This match clocked in at 12 minutes, 45 seconds. That's including the walkouts. I take out the walkouts. This thing is 8 minutes and 34 seconds, which is great for SmackDown, but this is Night of Champions, and you aren't even on a championship clock. When I think about it, and I go back to 2024, the match that Nia Jax put up against Lyra Valkyria is 17 minutes and 39 seconds. And when I adjust that for walkouts, the shit's like 9 minutes and 38 seconds. You're telling me that Jade Cargill at 160 pounds, 4% body fat, I know because I was sub 6, that's how you get abs. You let Nia Jax outwork you at 272 pounds and 40% body fat. Really? That's what we're doing for 1.75 mil over a 5-year plan, which is $350K a year? On top of the fact that if we keep doing this, you did a kip up after Asuka dragon screwed you twice and kicked your knee another time. That's 3 times. You kipped up after that, and even Michael Cole said, not a good idea. And did you sell it? No, because you couldn't sell salvation to a whore in church. And if I keep going on this damn thing, I didn't know that. How do you box the finisher with someone that's got 1,694 matches under their belt? That's far from all the way from Japan to Jacksonville, Florida, and almost fuck up the pin so much that the crowd is dead by 3 because they didn't even count it as a pin. And if calling the fact that I've got so many other people that are on the NXT roster kind of languishing. Jordan Grace, Mariah May. I know she's going by another name now. But if I'm watching them, I'm filing a formal HR complaint for incompetence on everybody. I'm done.
I need to smoke again after that.
Throw in the damn towel.
Ego for that, sir. You earned that. You earned that one, sir.
Man,
this match sucked. absolutely just fucking sucked. And yeah. And that brings us to the main event. For the last time, John Cena and CM Punk.
John Cena.
For the last time, these two in the ring together as it was billed. If this truly is the last time, this was a disappointment. The build was kind of fun. You know, we had, and I've just been told we have 6 likes, which our goal is double digits always. So we're just a little over halfway to double digit like. So please hit that thumbs up button. It costs you nothing. And of course, as long as you're there.
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
We had the reverse pipe bomb. Okay, I get the key jangling there. The following week, we had Punk doing Thugonomics, which Punk forgot his lines a couple times through, but you know he's not a rapper. But again, we're doing the key jangling here, and this my biggest complaint is ever since WrestleMania 40, the main event, it seems like for this championship, everything has to turn into an overbooked mess. Absolute clusterfuck. And frankly, it's getting
Boring.
Ego thoughts.
They did the best they could. I guess all things considering, it's just like you said, if this is the last time and I have to resort to that many shenanigans for this to be the last time, that is disappointing. At least Cody and Randy Orton got a full match, no interference. I get the fact there might have been a chance for interference for Cena and Punk, but I would have liked for it to have been clean. And so with that in mind, I get what you're saying. It is kind of disappointing because it's the last time and they didn't really get to finish it on their own accord. So it kind of sucks.
Brad.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Again, there's too much shenanigans going on, but I think you're going to see this in any match with John Cena right now because he's extremely limited as to what he can do. Even though he has now added a 6th move to his 5 moves of death, it's still John Cena.
Yeah, the dick kick.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the 7th.
Yes, dick kick and a headshot to do with the belt.
Oh, and we forgot the glare to the camera.
Oh, yeah, the glare, the dead stare. Gotcha. Matt, thoughts?
This match should have been 5 minutes shorter. There shouldn't have been any shenanigans in it. Or maybe just like one thing, like where just Seth Rollins runs out just one to flash the briefcase, like tease him when he's gonna do it and go away type of thing. Like if this match was let's say 17 minutes long with no outside of it other than Seth threatening to cash in and leaving, I thought it would have been a good match. Because they were Cena's obviously a little more limited what he can do in the ring. Him and Punk putting on a catch-as-catch-can style match with counter wrestling and all that. I was fine. Well, excuse me, I was fine with that. Sorry. Well,
They're right there.
there's a little. Try not to belch on screen.
Oh, good. Okay, those burn.
So you're right, and you're right. Too much outside interference. It just felt. Again, it felt like a SmackDown match or whatever. Like they took away from it being the end of a feud, a forever end of a feud. Unless they're telling us Punk is going to interfere somehow. When Seth tries to cash it in, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just. What were they thinking with this stupid event?
It happened, and we'll talk more about this in a bit. But I want to shift over now. This popped up today, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've got to add this in. I'm I'm gonna list. I'm gonna give you a list of some names, and I want you to tell me what they all have in common.
Go on.
Miro, Malachi Black, Ricky Starks, Ray Phoenix,
AEW.
Pentagon Jr.,
AEW.
Refugees.
By the sixth person, I got AEW.
Okay, now Brad, I think you were on to something there.
Yeah, they're refugees. They've claimed asylum after escaping. What is it? You call it Khan-Tan-Amo Bay?
As Eric Bischoff has coined the term, Khan-Tan-Amo Bay. This is kind of a phenomenon when Tony Khan gets either tired of one of his toys or he gets a whiff that they may want to get released and go over to, as the sickos call it, the Fed, the evil place. Apparently, you can add Brit to this list. Now, as Brit has been known, she is a day oneer from AEW. I believe she's a multiple women's champion match, Matt, or
yes, she's a multiple women's winner.
Okay, so she's a multiple women's world champion in AEW. This is one of the foundations you built this women's division on. Now, did she have some injuries? Sure, took her out for a little bit. Oh, see, nobody cares. No, that line right there was the last time you saw Britt Baker on AEW TV, and that was like October. Now, she's been being paid to sit at home and do nothing. Matt, you want to say something?
So I would not hire her for a 10-foot pole if I were running a wrestling organization. She literally got in trouble for sexually harassing or stalking or whatever MJF and his girlfriend. Got suspended for months for that.
What? Really?
Yes. Okay, hold
on.
There was.
Sorry, I did not know that. Alleged.
There was an alleged altercation between MJF and Britt for an argument. The word sexual was never used. That's something the sickos are making up. So
it would be called a domestic dispute because it involved MJF's girlfriend. That's what it involved. You know? Okay, now, all testament to Britt Baker, she recovered from a friggin' stroke. So she's a great athlete. She's a natural dentist, by the way. And no problem with her in-ring talent. But, you know, when you get that sort of like Vince-ism going on behind the scene where they're going to possibly generate lawsuits with the talent, I just wouldn't. I mean, she's a foundation of AEW or whatever, but like you're running a business, you know what I mean? And you got to draw a line somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that because someone said the same. Some folks have said the same thing about CM Punk. And CM Punk, when he came back to the WWE, has been a model citizen. You don't hear about dust-ups in the back. You don't hear about problems in the back. Why? Because what did Punk say about AEW on the Ariel Helwani interview? AEW is not a business. Tony Khan is not a boss. If you put Britt in a company that has leadership and is actually run like a business, predicated on making the money, selling tickets, selling merch. Now, as far as the creative side goes, there's plenty of issues there, valid. But these problems where she's a locker room problem go away.
That's entirely different than Punk. Entirely different.
No,
it's the problem. She potentially HR had to intervene in that situation with her,
and they did with Punk too.
Not in the same way.
Yes, they did.
There was never going to be any lawsuit over what Punk did with what's his face?
Jack Perry.
That was never going to generate a lawsuit. You know,
of course not.
The problem with Punk is he's an asshole who burns bridges constantly. He's your
And
best
yet-
friend when he wants
and
something out of
yet-
you, and
yet
just,
none of that is being said now.
well,
because
because everyone knows and no one's his friend.
I'm hearing quite the opposite. My take is this: Tony Khan, if you're not going to use people on TV, let them go. You clearly have no plans for her. You're not going to use her.
You know what it's like? He's hoarding his magic cards. Like, you have your favorite deck of cards and you decide you don't want to play with these other ones, which are really good cards, but and your friends want to have those cards. It's like, dude, I'll trade you for this card. I'll trade you. No, I just don't want you to have it. I'm going to hold on to it, but I'm going to play with my favorite cards. That's what it is. Like you say, he's just hoarding talent just to have it.
So here's the story. Allegedly, MJF storms into the women's locker room and he gets into a shouting match and punches the wall. Ospreay and Adam Cole, others had to intervene.
Huh.
It was after she did something with MJF's girlfriend that caused MJF.
They got into an argument, and Britt called her a bad name.
Oh, okay.
Ego thoughts.
I mean, if you want to leave and get put out, that's fine. It's just, you know, the women's roster is kind of stacked right now. Do we need you here? It would be great if you're actually great in ring and not a cancer or an issue behind the scenes. But if you are, like, we don't really need you. WWE doesn't really need you. NXT doesn't need you. So I don't know where she's going to go from here. I mean, it doesn't sound like.
I beg to differ, at least in NXT, with Jordan eventually going up, Julia up, Stephanie up, and your champion is JC Jane.
I mean, it's a possibility. I just say, like, hey, you know, some of your issues follow you to the next company, and if you're going to be prudent and bad, I know there have been exceptions. I'm just saying, you know, it doesn't sound like it's going to be something that they're going to jump at the chance of. But again, it's AEW, so how bad could it really have gotten for you to get out? So, you know.
We also heard on the Rich Eisen show that AEW is going back to Wembley Stadium next year for All In. Which, by the way, just to let you know, as WWE gets site fees for these big stadium shows, AEW does not. AEW / Tony Khan / Shad Khan pays the city to put their shows on. That gives you just
backwards.
Well, yeah, because they're not the top tier level.
It gives you just an idea of how much interest there is in AEW. Zero. Now you want to go to Wembley Stadium. The first year you did it, the first year you had it there was about 80,000. Great showing. Absolutely phenomenal showing. Take nothing away from it. The second year, you dropped to about 50,000. Ego, All in Arlington is in 2 weeks like a week and a half in Globe Life Field. What's the capacity there?
100. I mean, if you include standing rooms, like 100,000.
Okay, but
at least
seated.
Maybe 60, 70,000, 65, 70,000. My guess.
Okay, Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas. They are set up.
What are you using?
They're set up for 23,000. That's the setup. They haven't even moved 20,000 tickets.
Well, that's the size they're at. I mean, well, that's the reality of it.
Then why book a stadium this fucking big?
Yeah, that's the baseball stadium, and that's new. Like, that's too big to put that at. You need to put that at the Dallas Stars rink. That was not a good idea. Or even to put that in at the Dallas arena for the Mavericks. The baseball field is terrible. That is not a good idea at all. Wow.
Horrible idea. Again, what's the interest in AEW? Zero. There was no interest at all. And it is because of the lack of leadership and the fact that this is not a business predicated on making the money. All that aside, we go to the worst cesspool, and that is the internet wrestling community. Now, Ego brought this to my attention that some folks are a little upset. Hold on, we got some right here. So Saraya at Fernand's page seems set for Evolution return. Again, I'm hearing Bree is going to show up. I'm hearing Kelly. I'm hearing the Michelle McCool, and we'll get into the Evolution thing in just a second here. But I've heard things. The IWC, for some reason, Tiffany Stratton has been one of their biggest targets. At a recent episode of SmackDown, Tiffany is walking to the back after a match, after a segment, and someone is heckling, "You're keeping this title warm for Naomi. Keep it warm, keep it warm, keep it warm." Tiffany comes over, says, "Better watch your mouth, boy. This title's staying with me forever." And it's a black guy. Okay. Fans, here's my thought on this. Heckling fans are nothing new. Wrestlers responding to heckling fans is nothing new. I've said when it comes to celebrity sport mixing together, WWE and wrestling fans are probably the most interactive. That's just my take on all that. But for folks, the soft snowflake keyboard warriors, the ones who get offended for other people.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Go out, touch some grass, talk to a real person, go get laid, dust the Cheeto dust off of you, stop watching the hentai porn, and get a life. This is ridiculous. Tiffany Stratton is not racist. You guys are making a mountain out of a molehill, Matt.
I don't find myself as enthused by what the IWC does. Like, I see what they say, and I'm like, it's like if you read 4chan or go too deep into Reddit, and you just don't do it, or the YouTube comments. You read like 3 YouTube comments and you're done. You go too deep in there, you don't know what you're gonna find. So.
Gotcha. All right, Ego, we have a question here that maybe you can help answer. Eric is a person of color as well. Can you explain why calling him boy is racist? Because apparently he does not know.
Okay, so apparently, not even apparently, in the South, people would say boy to black men to make them feel not like a man, even though they were fully grown men. So what they're trying to say is that Tiffany Stratton is trying to say the same thing to whoever the crustache guy was in the audience. The only problem is Tiffany Stratton's from fucking Prior Lake, Minnesota. So it would have almost damn near no bearing. The other problem is the fact that she's saying boy is like, I'm better than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, which is what everyone says in wrestling. Boy, it'll make your head spin how good I am at this game, better than you. Everyone has said that. That's everything. Everyone in a promo says that. Boy means you're weaker than me when it comes to wrestling specifically. The fact that you said was you're keeping it warm for Bianca Belair would have been enough to set me off.
Naomi.
Oh, she said Naomi. Oh, get the fuck out of here, Naomi. Get the fuck out of here. It's like Naomi, shut the fuck up. So you either talk or don't, because they're going to respond. And if you got offended by a woman that is wrestling, you get offended and you post it, and someone has to say, I wonder if Tiffany Stratton knows the implications of calling someone black a boy. You can get the fuck up out of here.
Okay,
that's it. Because you don't.
I want to address this because Steph did say that she did call Jade Cargill a black bitch. Well, that was actually found out to to be doctored. That was dubbed in. So
What
she
if
didn't.
she's a bitch, and what if she's also black?
That's possible as
Well,
well.
she's not a black bitch, she's a Karen. So that's helpful.
Brad, your thoughts on the IWC being the IWC?
Well, first off, I want to applaud Ego for being so brave to stay here and make commentary, because clearly he's been emotionally damaged by hearing this. We apologize on behalf of the entire white race, not just on the planet Earth, but any other planets throughout the universe, all the multiverse, which exist and are shameful. We beg your forgiveness. I don't have any dashikis to wear like Congress did, but I would in solidarity. He's going to get one for me. Wait a minute. I'm confused now. His dog is black and white.
Is this Hotep?
It's ebony and ivory. Bro, I will send you what I got. Send me the address, bro, okay? Wear this with American Grande. Make it multicultural.
Okay, you know what?
Not
Okay,
What?
Brad.
literally, just like stop trolling, guys. I mean, she's
Ego,
years
for
old.
your use of props.
The girl is 26 years old. She doesn't know this shit.
That's
She
not
doesn't
even-
know this shit.
That is
It's-
not a
it's-
racial term.
It used to be back in the South in the
it never was
50s,
a racial
but
term. The Southerners
it was
call
made-
everyone boy. So those who don't know the origin of what we call Southern culture, Thomas Sowell wrote a book. It might have been called Discrimination and Disparities.
Okay,
Basically-
that's a topic for another time. Let's keep it in the wrestling.
I'm going to be very fast with this. Just take it 35 seconds, okay? And when the rich Europeans moved to the South, they took their poor servants with them, and poor Southerners grew out of that culture, and the blacks who were enslaved adopted that same culture. So the Southerners, the same way they call you a lad in England, boy in America. It's that's how that evolved. It's not a racial thing; it's a poor thing.
Gotcha. Okay, so as I said, we're a week and a half away from probably one of the busiest professional wrestling weekends. On Saturday alone, we have 3 shows. We have NXT's Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event. Running at the same time is AEW All in Texas. The following night is the all-female card Evolution, which up until a week ago, we knew only one match. One. Now, this is supposed to be a celebration of women's wrestling and how much that it has improved. And to do this, they're going to build this entire premium live event in 2 weeks. This is a TKO problem here. They're packing too many fucking main event shows. Too many. Because after Evolution, after the weekend, and about 2 weeks after that, there's SummerSlam. 3 weeks after that, you got Clash in Paris. Then you got in October, you have Crown Jewel in Perth. Then you've got Survivor Series in November, and then the final January Saturday night's main event. That's just WWE main roster. And then there will still be another 2 or 3 NXT shows in there as well. So you got maybe a 3-week break. These shows and the ramifications don't have time to breathe. This is a TKO problem. Now, when Vince ran the thing, you kind of expected this pay-per-view cycle because that's the storytelling he did. Very short-term storytelling. Very short term. I mean, stuff that happened 2 pay-per-views ago the wrestlers have the memory of a goldfish. That never happened. But in one night, we got almost the entire card of Evolution. It started off in a segment with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And once again, for the fourth time, we're getting in a main event Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. For the fourth time since 2 weeks before Mania.
What's the record? What's the rivalry record on that? 2-2 or 3-1 or what?
Rhea has never beaten Io. So there's that. We now have the official, now strong, unified women's tag team champions, which could have helped if they had some chemistry at Night of Champions, but no, you had to put Rhea Ripley over. Roxanne Perez and Raquel are going to be in a fatal four-way tag team title match. A team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, and a team from NXT. Can anybody name a women's, a legit tag team from either of those brands?
I know when they're making.
Trouble.
I can name two. The newly formed Dungeon Dolls, that Natalia and Maxine Dupri. There's that one. The actual team, the Secret Service, Alba Fire and Piper Niven. But they're going to probably go with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. What did I say about that? Gee, I was right again. And from NXT, it'll probably be Sol Ruka and Zarya.
Fair. I mean,
why do we even have women's tag team champions? Why? Burn the belts.
It should never be on a PLE.
So wait, do you think that there's going to be a title exchange hands here?
No, because again, you just put this Judgment Day team together.
Does that mean so are you going to so you're going to put Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss together for this or no?
Sure.
They're a new team, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, and someone from NXT East the pin. Got it.
Or
I gotta log out and back in. Audio just died for some reason.
Okay. Then we're gonna have a battle royal. This is how you get those legends back in, and no, you're gonna jangle them keys because oh my god, wouldn't it be great? And the winner of this gets a championship match at Clash at the Castle in Paris, not SummerSlam. I could probably tell you who's going to win that match right now.
Oh yeah. Locked up.
We're going to
question.
Probably.
Sorry, Battle Royales. How many people now?
It could be 20.
10?
Probably.
10, 20?
Well,
okay.
Well, a Royal Rumble is a battle royal.
Got it. That's why I was confused. Okay.
So it's however many you want to throw in there.
However big the ring is, basically.
We're then going, like I said, we're going to get the NXT Women's Championship match. JC Jane versus Jordan Grace.
Boring.
Don't talk about my boo like that.
But at least that's a
Boring.
at least it's
You've had another boo before.
They're farming for dollars. That's all they're doing.
I'm waiting for the show.
Whose was that?
That's Brad's.
Okay. Damn, Brad.
The fact that this is, and Paul Levesque and Nick Khan are petty as fuck. The fact that you've put 3 shows in the same weekend to suck all the talking away from All In as much as you can, I will not be shocked if Blake the Monroe finds her way into that match and you put the belt on her.
Ooh, that would be petty, man.
Put the
Wow.
belt on her there.
Yo.
Just my thought.
I would do it.
We are probably going to get a women's intercontinental championship triple threat match. Becky Lynch, Bailey, and everyone's least favorite here, except me. I think she's good. Lyra Valkyria. You can laugh, Ego, but you're wrong. It's fine.
That is so cute.
I'm just saying, I got Jay Uso, you got Lyra Valkyria. I get it. It's okay. They're the same person. It's okay. It's okay.
You also had Jade too.
Delra Bachiria.
Believe it. Was that one for you?
Oh, definitely.
Prick.
And because of the dorks online, we got a spoiler for the WWE Women's Undisputed Championship. Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus.
Should be a good match.
No, it's not. It's not.
Trish can still wrestle.
Okay.
How did we get that? How did we get that?
Because Tiffany is said, I would have loved, it was great at Elimination Chamber when I teamed with Trish. I would love to wrestle her, and Trish comes out and accepts the challenge. Trish is near 50 years old. I don't care how good she looks. This is not going to be a good match. This is this. This is bullshit. This is lazy.
It's not good at all.
Like I said,
I can't watch that.
This is more of my ranting on the creative of WWE. It's gotten lazy as fuck. But I
They're
agree.
making money with no competition, so that happens.
And again, something needs to be shaken up. That's just me.
Yeah. Not
And I
good.
just got an update. We are at 8 likes. We are 2 away from double digits, folks. Again, be sure to check out our links all in the description. Our Instagrams, X, YouTube channels are all there. So if you don't mind.
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
So for those out there who just think that I glazed the WWE and never criticize them, go fuck yourself. Just saying. See, Steph is smart. Steph is smart. You know what, Stephanie?
It's not cool.
Stephanie, just for that, Stephanie. As these mic drops, folks, just so you know, our record keeper here, our numbers guy, now he's our numbers guy, keeps track of all these. And at the end of the month, we just kind of take a look and see who has the most mic drops. And at the end of the year, we might do something. I don't know yet, but we won't know unless we keep track. I'm just saying. See, and Steph likes the mic drop as well. So there we go. So we're gonna wait. We're waiting for Brad to come back in a little bit, but I guess we could probably maybe start without him, as it is time for the staple of this show. Friends, that is Overbooked Top 5. And the way this works, we have a category. Each of us has 5 takes. Our number 5 take gets 1 point. Our number 1 take gets 5 points. So by the end, our legal expert here, who counts in 6s, not 5s, gives us a definitive scientific answer to this category, as the big story, at least for this year so far, has been the John Cena heel turn. We're going through wrestling history and looking at what are some of the best betrayals / heel turns. Ego, let's start with you, sir. Your number 5.
You know what? My number 5 is going to be Cena selling his soul.
This
Okay,
low?
title.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
it's only because
I'm curious.
It's more just because I don't really get to see a lot of these in real time. So it's just like you guys told me, like, hey, there's a chance it could happen. He wanted this a decade ago. My friends were telling me back in the day, like, he wanted to do it. Now to see it, I was like, okay, that wasn't surprising, but I mean, it was something that I saw and witnessed. So I got it at 5. It's low just because of it's more recent for me.
Okay. Oh, he's throwing a foul.
Was that
Brad.
yellow or red card?
Yellow
That was
flag.
just a yellow flag.
Okay, I'll take yellow. I'll take yellow.
It's so badass.
Brad, you're number 5.
So I was thinking about, recent heel turns, and then I thought, you know what? There's one that just is so good. They keep doing it over and over again, but you have to go all the way back to, and I had to go check on it because it's outside the WWE when it started.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Kevin Steen versus El Generico.
All right.
That almost made my list.
And just so for Ego's clarification, that would then become Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Again and again and again.
Wow.
Was
Okay.
it
All right.
2003?
It's a 2009. Final Battle 2009.
Ring of Honor?
What's that?
Was it Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor. Right after it says I had to go back and check it because I'm like, I know there was a few before they were who they are now. And that basically started it all. And the thing is, though, he keeps doing these things. He keeps turning on Sammy, and it's like,
I'm so surprised. Like,
I can't believe you're turning on me. But the other thing is, like, 3 certainties. This is literally what the article said. And I thought the same thing. 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and Kevin Owens turning on Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Well, you're not wrong.
Matt, you're number 5.
As I said, that almost made my number 5. Francine turning on Shane Douglas almost made my number 5. I mean, that was the ECW thing. So a lot of almost made my number 5, but I went for an important one. So when Prince Devitt betrayed Ryusuke Taguchi, those who don't know what that means, that's in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it led to the formation of the Bullet Club.
Gotcha.
Balor, who is of course Finn Balor. Right?
Gotcha.
So that's my number 5.
Okay, I have an honorable mention first. It was teetering on this one, but I had to go put it in the honorable mention category because of the way they've just fucked it up since then. And that would have been the heel turn of the New Day on Big E, on Xavier Woods.
Oh,
Kofi. How do they pay this off? This great angle, great heel turn on Big E, and then you don't see Xavier and Kofi on TV for 4 weeks. Make that make sense. That's my honorable mention. But for my number 5, I go to 1999 Armageddon premium live event where Daddy's little girl becomes the $1 billion princess. Stephanie McMahon turns on Vince McMahon. The whole storyline was she was the marriage to Triple H when she was drugged up or drunk or something, and she was trying to get out of it, and Vince is defending the honor of his little girl, and she was playing Vince all along. Great heel turn. No one saw it coming. So that's why it's number 5. Ego, number 4.
All right, number 4. This is thanks to you guys, and now I understand the implications more than a decade later. Seth Rollins betraying the Shield.
Ah,
There's always a plan.
Plan B.
Yes. We can actually make that a clip for you, man. But yeah, I see now, once they told me how not big of a thing it was when they were formed of the Shield, but how big the breakup was, and the fact that it's been one betrayal after the other, seemingly from this one event. It makes me upset that
a decade later. A decade later.
I'm actually upset that Moxley is not in WWE right now, so I can see this go ring around the rosy pretty much forever. I would love to see that. If his contract is ever up and he wants to come back, I would. Okay, it's wishful thinking on my part, but the fact that I see now what you guys mean by like, hey, this one event has facilitated a decade worth of beef. I love it. So I've got it number 4.
Okay, Brad, you're number 4.
I'm in line with Matt. I'm going with Prince Devitt forming the Bullet Club.
Ooh,
again.
wow.
This is historical research because obviously I was not watching New Japan, but you have to acknowledge the historical impact.
Yeah.
I mean, Bullet Club is like how many members have become members of, how many people become members of Bullet Club just based on that one incident, and it created a whole new dynamic, not only for the future of Finn Balor, but for all the people who then became members of the Bullet Club.
It
So
created
I mean,
a company.
yeah.
Not only that, but Bullet Club has manifested directly or indirectly, legally or illegally, in like including WWE. The
Right.
OC is the Bullet Club.
The OC.
Yeah, right. All right, Matt, you're number 4.
So my top 4, the only question was the order. So this broke my heart a little to just want to get knocked down to 4. But way back in 1971, Bruno Sammartino in real life recruited Larry Zbyszko out of college. He was a collegiate champion to be his protege in both real life and in kayfabe, right? And for years and years, like 6, 7, 8 years, they were best buds. But Zbyszko always backed them up. Then in real life, okay, because Zbyszko felt he was going to be under Bruno's shadow for his entire career, so he pitched a heel turn. Bruno didn't want to do it because he wanted to be like best buds with the guy. You know what I mean? Like he saw Zbyszko as passing his legacy to Zbyszko. And so Zbyszko in kayfabe challenged Bruno to an exhibition match, and which was just going to be them showing how the protege measured up. At the end of the match, he knocked him bloody unconscious, beat him bloody. And at the time, it was considered the greatest heel turn in wrestling history. No one saw it coming. And to this day, I was like 8 or something, 1987, whatever it was. And it's still shocking to this day.
All righty. For my number 4, we're going to 1992. Tension with a tag team in the WWF. And Brutus the Barber wants to call meeting to try to catch this up. And Shawn Michaels kicks the shit out of Marty Jannetty. And he throws him through a sugar window. And it's the heel turn of HBK when he became the Heartbreak Kid. So that is my number 4. Ego, number 3.
Oh man, that's gonna be rough. You know what? I'm gonna call an audible. I'm gonna go with Mariah May heel turn on Toni Storm, AEW.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I've got that. Their latest match is number 1 match of the year. Just to have it be that kind of a feud to go back and forth, excellent promos, excellent callouts, excellent matches. To have it have like what 4 or 5 matches over the span of a year and them all be, I think it's 5. I'm trying to guess. I thought it's 5.
At least 4.
At least 4, yeah, and to all be absolute bangers. To be bloodied, to bring out everything kitchen sink, thumbtacks, tables, chairs, the whole thing. The blood licks, and I'm talking like this is like Marilyn Monroe as a brawler. It's beautiful. So I've got that at
it was.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say like Marilyn Monroe and June Cleaver in a weird lesbian thing going.
It worked so well, oddly enough. Yes, I had to put my Hotep stuff up for that one. You know, just firmly focus on the milk for that match. I will not.
Gotcha. Brad.
My number 3 was your number 4. HBK becoming HBK by blasting the hell out of Marty Jannetty. Again, the historical significance of how it set the path for Shawn Michaels. Eventually, his downfall and then subsequent resurrection. Ironic. But and I remember seeing it because I was still casually watching. I'm like, holy crap! It looked brutal. It looked freaking brutal. So yeah, I got to go with that.
Okay, Matt, you're number 3.
And I almost had the Shawn Michaels one as my number 5. Again, there were so many good ones you had to knock off the list. And the payback for Jannetty, which gets very little play, but was 4 years later or whatever, he beat the crap out of Shawn Michaels like 4 times. Yeah. My number 3 is John Cena heel chain. I keep calling John Cena all the time now. John Cena.
On Cena.
Yeah. When it happened, like no one expected that. I mean, like that Cena actually would be willing to do the heel change. It really, in my view, it elevated his career. To me, it elevated his career significantly. It would do the heel change and go over, go out that way. Now, obviously, I said last week that the promo part of it's been great. The match work kind of meh, and the storyline kind of meh. But the promo part, and that first promo of his as a heel, I could listen to that thing like every week. It's so good, And so that's John Cena. John Cena is number 3.
All right, my number 3, Matt, exactly the same. This would have been higher if we'd have been getting better results. From this. So it's the Cena heel turn. I never thought that WWE would have the balls to make that move. Yeah. But again, something we never saw coming. It's the aftermath of it. I mean, you've had like Matt said, the first good heel turn promo that he did. He just repeated it 3 more times, the exact same promo. The stuff with Punk has kind of elevated it a little bit, but everything as a whole, it has been a miss, and that's because someone who should have been part of this decided to all of a sudden do a no-show.
Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
Fucked it all up. Okay, Ego, you're number 2.
All right, so this is not only a double cross, this is a triple cross. I've got Paul Heyman betraying CM Punk and Roman Reigns to give, goodness gracious, I messed this up already.
Seth Rollins to win?
Yeah, Seth Rollins to win. I did. The first time I was like, oh, okay, you're going back to who you said you were going to go back. And then the second time, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I've never seen a manager, to me, have that much influence on the outcome of a match. Had to be center stage for it all. And for it to be Paul Heyman and to be, I guess, 2 of the guys that he pretty much helped raise to excessive prominence, to betray them both and go off with Seth Rollins. And the fact that Seth Rollins is the person that had already betrayed Roman in the Shield. It was just a cyclic madness when it happens. So I've got that number 2.
Gotcha. Brad, you're number 2.
My number 2 is going to be John Cena, only because it is literally the thing you never thought would happen, except for, of course, my number 1. And again, it was pulled off so well that I now actually think John Cena can actually act at some level better than just dumb, goofy comedy. So yeah, I mean, I never expected it. None of us called it. I mean, total shock. And I imagine that I just imagine the people in the back, everyone like Gorilla who did not know, just the reactions. It's like,
I wonder if they did it that way, like where they deliberately didn't tell a lot of people even behind the scenes.
I bet they didn't tell a lot of people.
No. All right, Matt, you're number 2.
Well, you guys should have figured my number 1, number 2 out if you haven't listened to me at all for the past year on the show. This is my number 2. This heel turn was built on such a foundation of years and years of Triple H becoming the game, becoming the mastermind behind the corporation, of masterminding heel turns. And the only problem I have with it is I thought they pulled the trigger 3 to 4 months too soon, but there's always plan B is my number 2. And like you knew it was going to happen. One of them was going to turn, right? You knew it. But I thought that I personally thought it was going to wind up being not Rollins, but Moxley, because he's crazy. But like his persona was crazy,
So plan B is your number 2?
Yeah, there's always plan B is my number 2.
My number 2 was created one of the best stories in professional wrestling history. And it's something people did not see coming. And when you watch the clip of how this was shot, when the Mariah May turned on Tony Storm, you've got the celebration of the Owen Hart Classic win. The Mariah and Tony are hugging. The Mariah goes up the ramp and she goes out of frame. Tony's happy. She turns around and here comes the Mariah with the belt out of nowhere, blasts her. And there's for these angles, this is when blood is fine. It can get excessive, but for this feud, it absolutely worked the few times that they used it. This first angle blew everyone away. And it was not just the best story in AEW. It was the best women's story for an entire year. I mean, folks can talk Rhea and Liv all they want. This blows them out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even close. So the heel turn of the Mariah May, now Monroe, who she's listed as a babyface now in NXT. My number 2. All right, Ego, you're number 1.
All right, my number 1 is going to be when I learned what a heel turn was all about. Hulk Hogan joining the NWO. I usually wasn't able to really watch Raw just because of I think it's the time constraints at the time, but I could always catch WCW Nitro. And I remember the day after I heard that Hulk Hogan had turned heel, didn't even know what it was. All I know is that the black and gold belt was painted with NWO over, and I had to go back and find out what happened. I'm like, but Hulk Hogan's a good guy. Why would he be a bad guy? To this day, one of the best heel turns that I have ever seen. The ramifications we're still talking about over almost 30 years later. So I've got that as number 1.
Brad.
If he didn't pick that, I would say we'd have to kick him off the show.
That's fair. That's fair.
Of course. I mean, as shocking as it was to see John Cena, and I'm going to keep saying it too, just because it's fun. John Cena turn. It was like, you never thought you'd see that. You never thought Hulkamania would turn. You never thought the red and gold would be gone. The red and yellow would be gone. And so become NWO black and white. I mean, yeah, of course you get the Kevin Hall and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Kevin Hall and Scott Nash. Hall and Nash were being the bad guys. Literally, one says, I'm the bad guy. But to see Hulk Hogan, the idol to so many people, who was always playing the hero, real American, come out and become the bad guy, that was tectonic.
Right. Matt, you're
it's the same one. If you go back and look at Eric Bischoff's interviews about this over the years, so he floated to Hogan about 8 months before the event, right? And Hogan didn't answer him at the time because Hogan was legit thinking about Hogan's comment. He's legit, he was unsure about doing. I mean, let's leave Chris and Hulk Hogan as human being aside from this. Okay, Hogan knows the wrestling business, right? So he was thinking he's on top as a face for the last 10, 15 years. Could he risk going heel and losing all his fans or whatever? Like he legit went through the math on this, right? And they didn't know until he showed up in the building and he walked out to do it. Even that, like no one knew that. I mean, obviously Hall and Nash knew and Bischoff knew, but no one they didn't tell anyone in the audience. When Bobby Heenan says something like,
"Oh my God!"
But first he said, "Could Hogan betray us?" He didn't know. He was just being anti-Hogan because he's an anti-Hogan commentator, And when it
was Bobby and Tony Schiavone, right? We're on.
I thought it was a 3-man team. What, the old guy who went to TNA?
Mike
Tenay.
Yeah.
So it was a 3-man team at the time. But anyway, so Hogan comes out and they're thinking he's gonna face off against Hall and Nash. The crowd thinks that or whatever. You remember that face on the Black Duke for the Undertaker? There were probably a million faces that night when Hogan heel turned, looking just like that. And it was such a glorious moment.
We know.
It was such a glorious moment in wrestling history. And it made but prior to that, the heel turn was the Zbyszko turn, right? Now this took the place at the time as the greatest heel turn in. I mean, the only bigger heel turn you could have gotten out of wrestling would be Hillbilly Jim betraying Hulk Hogan. That's it.
And that's a distant second.
Well, no. Think about this. Hogan has brought a lot of people into professional wrestling as his friends, Bruce Beefcake and all that. The only one who never betrayed him was Hillbilly Jim.
Gotcha.
Seriously, no one cares.
So, my number one, it's a clean sweep. 1996, Bash at the Beach. This was not just a shot heard around the world. This was a shot around the world. This was never going to happen. And it changed wrestling. It changed professional wrestling. It forced Vince McMahon to move away from and this other lame shit that was going on. It brought on the birth of Stone Cold Steve Austin. It birthed the Attitude Era because Vince was losing to WCW.
And if I may add, Joker, if you want to see one of the best follow-up episodes to a pay-per-view, the Nitro after Bash at the Beach, but I think it was the one where they powerbomb Rey Mysterio into the side of a semi.
That was when
was that right after that
when
one?
Kevin Nash lawn darted him.
Yeah. That Nitro when NWO started to take over, one of the best weekday like Raw after WrestleMania follow up weekday events ever.
Gotcha. So, Mr. Legal Expert, I think it's a clear number one, a distant number two, and a distant three as well. But a clear number one, two, and three. At number three is
I got Mariah May and Tony Storm.
correct. Number two is
John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena. Cena.
And
John Cena.
And I think until the end of time, this will always be the number one. I mean, until something literally earth-shattering happens. Number one, Hulk Hogan turns heel.
Agreed.
I'm struggling. If Cena had done his heel turn,
had it been done right and not botched, thanks to
the problem is it's the end of his career. There's no run after it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if Cena had done it like 8 or 9 years ago and had a 4 or 5 years as a heel type of thing,
possibly
did.
Possibly. All righty, and I want to thank everyone in the chat as we are closing out the show here. Mr. LeftEyeEgo, would you tell us what you have coming up, sir?
All right, I'll be putting a thumbnail and a link for this later, but Friday, 4th of July at 1 p.m. Central, Roman of the Empire and I will be doing a Freedom toy unboxing stream because we have way too many toys from the last time, and our wives want proof of life for what we spent their money on. So we'll be going live with that on Friday at 1 p.m.
Nice. Mr. Bradley Burnett, the Duke Devil, what do you have coming up, sir?
Tomorrow night, I will be on Static 2020 channel doing the weekend pregame. I hopefully will be able to get some time this weekend to do some videos regarding F1 and a final just brief talk about Ironheart. Of course, as always, every Wednesday, Wormhole Watch comes out. This week we watched a not good episode called Melora, but you have to watch bad to get to the good, and it's still better than Christmas Trek. Next week's Wormhole Watch will probably not come out till Thursday for reasons.
Do you actually watch Ironheart? Why do you
I was watching with Gary.
Why do you hate yourself?
I'm a masochist. I went to law school.
He's a lawyer. Lawyers all hate themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's gotta be it.
We don't just hate other lawyers, we hate ourselves too.
Gotcha. And the man with 1,000 holds, what do you have coming up, sir?
Joker and I should be on Rome of the Empire tomorrow talking about our favorite patriotic films. And then obviously next week, Wednesday is Overbooked. And then I'll be this weekend, a video will drop for the questioners. We'll be talking more about this thing with the video games being basically bricked by companies when they turn off their online component and all that. So,
Gotcha. And as for me, my regular content as per usual. Be sure to tune in next week, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here for Wednesday Night is Overbooked, as we will have a new top 5. The official going into the predictions of a busy ass the weekend of professional wrestling. So until then, for all of us here at Overbooked, I want to say, always have fun, keep talking, keep smiling. Until next time,
Toodles!
Take care.
And here we go.
Is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Yeah.